Hello, everyone, and a wonderfully warm welcome to you all. I am so glad you could join me today. Before we dive into this absolutely fascinating topic, I want to take a genuine moment to send my very best thoughts and wishes out to you and your family. Wherever you are tuning in from, I truly hope you are feeling positive, staying safe, and are in the very best of health, both mentally and physically. Let's get started. When you think of a sloth, what is the first thing that comes to mind? For most of us, it's probably an image of an adorable, fuzzy creature hanging upside down from a tree branch in a tropical rainforest, moving with an almost unbelievable slowness. We associate them with sleep, with a relaxed pace of life, and with being, well, kind of lazy. They are the undisputed champions of taking it easy. Now, what about a dolphin? When you picture a dolphin, you likely imagine the complete opposite. You see a sleek, powerful, and incredibly intelligent animal rocketing through the ocean waves, leaping into the air, a symbol of agility, speed, and grace in the water. Dolphins are marine mammals, built for a life in the sea, and we naturally assume they are the masters of all things aquatic. So, it might come as one of the most shocking and counterintuitive facts you've ever heard that a sloth, the animal that moves slower than any other mammal on land, can hold its breath underwater for a longer period of time than a dolphin. The acrobatic genius of the ocean. It sounds like a punchline to a joke, but it is a completely true and verified scientific fact. A sloth can hold its breath for up to an incredible 40 minutes, while a dolphin typically needs to surface for air about every 10 to 15 minutes. This bizarre and amazing truth is a perfect example of how animals evolve in incredible ways to survive in their specific environments. The story of why a sloth has this superpower is a tale of energy conservation, evolutionary adaptation, and a lifestyle so slow it defies our basic understanding of the animal kingdom. To understand this, we first need to appreciate the sloth's world and why it moves the way it does. Sloths are tree-dwelling mammals that live in the rainforests of Central and South America. Their entire existence is centered around one precious resource: energy. The leaves that make up the vast majority of their diet, particularly those of the cecropia tree, are notoriously low in nutrients and calories and are very difficult to digest. They provide just enough energy to survive, but not enough to thrive in an active way. Imagine if you only ever ate a bland, diet version of lettuce. You wouldn't have the energy to run marathons either. Because their food is so poor, sloths have evolved to become the ultimate energy-saving machines. Every single aspect of their biology is designed to conserve every single joule of energy they can get from their food. Their famous slowness is not a choice, it is a direct and necessary result of their diet. They have an extremely low metabolic rate, which is the speed at which their body burns through energy to function. To put it in perspective, a sloth's metabolic rate is only about 40 to 45% of what we would expect for an animal of its size. This is the lowest metabolic rate of any mammal. They're essentially running on power save mode all the time. Their body temperature is also lower and more variable than most mammals, fluctuating with the temperature of their environment to avoid spending energy on staying warm. This incredibly slow pace of life means they don't need a lot of oxygen to fuel their cells compared to a fast-moving, highly active animal. This is the first crucial piece of the puzzle in understanding their breath-holding ability. Their bodies are simply not demanding large, frequent supplies of fresh oxygen because their engine is idling so slowly. Now, let's talk about the dolphin for a moment, because the contrast is key. Dolphins are incredibly active animals. They're constantly swimming, sometimes at very high speeds, to hunt for fish and squid, to socialize, and to navigate the vast ocean. This active lifestyle requires a tremendous amount of energy. To produce that energy, their cells need a constant and rich supply of oxygen. Their metabolism is high, their hearts beat fast, and their muscles are built for powerful bursts of activity. All of this burns through the oxygen stored in their bodies very quickly. Furthermore, as mammals, they breathe air, just like we do. They do not have gills to extract oxygen from the water. This means they must regularly swim to the surface to take a breath. Their bodies are masters at efficiently using that one breath. They have a very high red blood cell count, and their muscles contain high levels of a protein called myoglobin, which stores oxygen directly in the muscle tissue, allowing them to dive deep and long. But even with these adaptations, the demands of their active lifestyle and their high metabolism mean that the oxygen from a single breath gets used up relatively quickly. They are like a high-performance sports car with a powerful engine that guzzles fuel. They need to refuel with air often. A typical dolphin will surface to breathe every few minutes, and while they can hold their breath for impressive dives lasting around 10 to 15 minutes, that is their functional limit under normal circumstances. So, how does the sloth, an animal we never even think of as aquatic, surpass this marine champion? The answer lies in the sloth's unique relationship with water and, once again, its incredible energy-saving adaptations. While sloths spend nearly their entire lives in the trees, they do indeed come down to the ground on occasion. One of the main reasons for this risky journey is to relieve themselves, which they only do about once a week, another incredible energy-saving tactic. But another reason they might descend is to find new trees, and sometimes, the most direct path to a new patch of forest is across a river. Sloths are surprisingly good swimmers. Their long arms make for effective paddles, and they can move through the water with a grace and speed that is completely absent from their terrestrial locomotion. It is during these swims that their breath-holding ability becomes critical. When a sloth decides to swim across a river, it will often simply drop from a branch into the water below, take a big breath, and submerge itself almost completely, using a slow, doggy paddle style stroke to cross. They can reduce their already slow heart rate even further, to less than a third of its normal pace. This is a phenomenon known as bradycardia, a common diving reflex in many animals, including humans, where the heart slows down to conserve oxygen. But the sloth takes this to an extreme. With their metabolism already set to an ultra-low setting, their muscles requiring minimal oxygen, and their heart rate plummeting, they burn through the oxygen stored in their bodies at an unbelievably slow rate. Their body is so efficient at operating on minimal oxygen that the single breath they took at the surface can last them for an astonishingly long time. Scientists have recorded sloths holding their breath for up to 40 minutes during these aquatic excursions. This isn't a party trick, it's a vital survival skill that allows them to cross waterways to find new food sources and mates without drowning and without expending much energy. The secret to this feat isn't just a slow heart rate, it's also in their blood and muscles. Like dolphins and other diving animals, sloths have a high concentration of myoglobin in their muscles. Myoglobin is a protein that binds to oxygen and stores it directly within the muscle cells, making it readily available for use without having to wait for it to be delivered by the bloodstream. This is like having an onboard oxygen tank right where it's needed most. For an animal that moves so slowly, its muscles don't need a rapid, continuous supply of oxygen, so this stored oxygen can be rationed out over a very long period. Furthermore, sloths have an exceptional ability to tolerate the buildup of carbon dioxide in their blood. For most animals, including us, a high level of carbon dioxide is the primary trigger that forces us to take a breath. It's that unbearable, urgent feeling that you need to breathe. Sloths have a much higher tolerance for this sensation, allowing them to suppress the urge to breathe for far longer. Their entire physiological system is wired for patience and endurance in a way that is almost unimaginable for more active creatures. This incredible adaptation highlights a beautiful principle in biology. Evolution shapes animals perfectly for their specific niche. The dolphin is a masterpiece of speed, power, and intelligence in the open ocean. Its breath-holding abilities are perfectly suited for its active hunting lifestyle. The sloth is a masterpiece of energy conservation and patience in the dense, competitive rainforest. Its breath-holding ability is a side effect of its overall slow-motion existence, a hidden talent that only reveals itself on the rare occasions when it takes to the water. One is not better than the other. They are both perfectly adapted to their own worlds. The sloth skill reminds us that advanced or superior doesn't always mean faster or stronger. Sometimes, the most impressive abilities are about doing less, slowing down, and making every single molecule of energy, every single breath of air, last for as long as humanly, or should we say, slothly, possible. So, the next time you see a video of a sloth slowly making its way across a river, remember that you are witnessing one of the most extraordinary and unexpected feats of endurance in the entire animal kingdom. Thank you so much for spending this time with me and learning about this amazing fact. I hope it gave you a new appreciation for these incredible animals. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next video.